What's up, YouTube? Pluto here, back with another build video. This time, we'll be jumping into the Warhammer 40k universe with the new release game, Spacemarines 2. After you beat the campaign, you have two options to keep playing, PvP or Operations. Both have their own progression systems. For the builds that I want to talk about here, we're going to stick to the Operations side of the game, which is 6 playable classes: Tactical, Assault, Vanguard, Bulwark, Sniper, and Heavy. Today, we'll be diving into our favorite class so far, which has been the Bulwark. When you first come to the screen, all this will be grayed out, and you will level them up as you go and unlock more perks. Thankfully, this class does not take long, only rank 11 to get the ball rolling and get you right into Ruthless. The Bulwark is a night-themed melee-focused class with a power fantasy of cutting your way through the battlefield with your power sword, all while being an impenetrable force with your shield. Man, this class is S tier. It's perfection. Each class has a specific ability. The Bulwark's is called Chapter Banner. What this does is it allows you to place a rally banner that will restore you and your squad mates' armor as long as you stand inside the banner area. With this, you also get a starting perk, which gives you a 20% increase in your overall HP. This gives Bulwark the most HP out of all 6 classes. The core part of this build, which is kind of funny because it's from the core section, so it kind of makes sense. The core part of this build is going to be Shock and Awe and Defensive Advantage. These two combined, what they do is the defensive advantage creates a shock area for 5 seconds, and anything inside the shock area takes 25% more damage from shock and awe. And since you're parrying anyways, go ahead and pick up Intimidating Aura. Perfectly timed parry deals area of effect damage for 5 and within a 5 meters. There's no cooldown on this, by the way, so you can just constantly pop this one off. Every parry you get, you're going to be getting the effect of this one. But these two go hand in hand. What you want to do is you want to pop your perfect parry, fall back inside the area, pulling mobs in, and then slice away with your 25% more damage with your sword. For team perks, all 3 are good options, but I think Advanced Conditioning fits the best with the build, especially with Chapter Banner. Refill in any lost HP with contested HP. This gives you a larger window to find an execution to restore your health to full. A runner-up that I would pick would probably be Effective Formation. All squad members take 20% less health damage from fighting Terminus level enemies. This is just the bosses at the end. Most of the time I would pick this one. All the gear perks are pretty flexible. The first 3 are already pretty strong, like Purity of Purpose. Damaging enemies inside the banner aura are rejuvenating effects, which revives down squad mates simply by slapping it down on them. Our Invigorating Icon, which gives squad mates full contested HP when you drop the banner on them, allowing them to get an execution to get back to full HP. Inspiration and Glorious Shield are 2 sides of the same coin. One gives you more damage, 10% more damage, while one makes you take 10% less damage. This last column is entirely dependent on the needs of your team. Then we come to our signature perks. The first and second are pretty good, while the third is kind of meh. Emergency Countermeasures ties directly into the shock part of the build if you want to go full shock damage. Or you could use my personal favorite, Defensive Mastery. A perfect parry on a Majorist or Extremist level enemy, a Tyrian Warrior, Lictor, Ravener, or Chaos Sorcerer, just to name a few, will all be left in an executable state after you parry them. For weapons, you get no primary, but the trade-off is you have a shield instead. For your secondary, you have 2 options, the Bolter Pistol or the Plasma Pistol. For us, we went with the Plasma Pistol because we would be mostly swinging our sword and occasionally using the charge shot to stop reinforcements from being called in if we can't reach them with our sword. And then we end up going with Ophidion's Liberation, simply because it has the highest amount of ammo reserves out of all 3. And then we have weapon perks. Weapon perks in this game are a little weird. They don't feel as free in the choices that you could have. Like if you pick this one, you're locked into picking this one. You can't pick this one. And if you, vice versa, if you pick this one and you didn't have this one unlocked, you're locked into going down the road that you're going. I don't really like that, but with that being said, we go with fast venting here for more 15% faster cooling on the weapon. We don't want common cooling because we're pretty much only charge shotting the gun, so that's kind of useless to us. Leads us into Rampage. Rampage is good because if you play it smart on your 3rd charge shot, if you've killed enough enemies, that's going to be a 25% damage on it. And then we hop over and we pick up another 10% damage for our charge shot. And then we hop up here and we pick up 5% radius on our charge shot, another 5% radius on our charge shot. You can see we really like the charge shot. And then we get 20% faster charging for the charge shot, another 20% faster charging for the charge shot, and then finally more ammo for the plasma rifle, for the plasma weapon, a higher reserve for your plasma weapon. For your melee options, you have some pretty good choices. The chain sword, the power fist, or the power sword. For us, we went with the power sword, specifically Gallimore's Crusade. Why did we pick this one? We picked it specifically for the fencing defensive style. What this does is it increases the parry window, the time for you to get the perfect parry, and that ties directly into the whole way we're trying to get the build, where we're just parrying everything. All this does is it just makes the parry a lot easier. And then for our perks, we're probably going to go with Armored Strength over Perpetual Strength because it is so easy to remain at full armor all the time, especially with getting your parries and getting your executions off. That pretty much forces us to take Master of Offense, but Master of Offense is pretty good because that's an on-demand 20% melee buff that you have, and the cooldown on it is pretty low at only 10 seconds. And then we're pretty much forced to pick up Perpetual Strength here, which is 5% increase in melee damage, which is good. We could go down here and grab this, but we're not. We're going to hop over here and get Momentum Gain, which is actually a really good perk. Each consecutive hit with a light attack increases your light attack damage by 3%, up to 30%. Essentially, this is after 10 attacks of a light attack combo. After you swing it out 10 times, you're going to be doing 30% more damage as long as you continue to attack and don't let that 3-second timer run out. And you can actually take this. You have enough time in the combo to combine this with the 20% to get all the way up to a 50%, and you can mess up some high level enemies. And then we'll take Fencing Blade to increase our combo one more. And then we pretty much have to pick Chaos, so we're going to go here. Then we're going to take Hard Target because what we're trying to get is we're trying to get speed restoration. So you pretty much just want to get it all the way out there the best you can. Just fill the line out. And a lot of these are pretty good perks anyway, so it works out. And then you're going to be left with one perk. This is a flex perk. You can pretty much put anywhere you want. If I'm fighting Tyranids, I rock this. If I'm going to fight extremist level enemies and stuff like that, I'll rock this. If I'm going to fight a boss, a level that has a boss like the Drake level or the Tyranid boss, I'll rock this. So your last point for the sword is for the flex. You can put it anywhere you want.
If you made it this far, I want to give a huge thank you for watching and for supporting. I'm still super new to content creation and still learning, so any feedback would be greatly appreciated. The rest of this video is going to be a showcase of what Bulwark can achieve at the end game and the higher levels of play. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.